Welcome everyone to WatchMock. My name is Phil Pasquarello. I'm the trial competition director at the Drexel University Thomas R. Klein School of Law. And I'm joined today for the first time in WatchMock history by not one, not two, but three guests. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hi, everybody. I'm Abby Branham. I'll be a junior this year at Florida State University.
I'm Clay Owens. I just recently graduated from Ohio State.
I want Clay to introduce me.
And this is Tamara Joseph, who will be a rising senior fourth year at Ohio State.
Yeah, Abby, you're a junior?
Yes.
That makes me feel pathetic.
Why?
Because you're really good.
Thank you. You're really good too.
So you guys had incredible seasons this year. And before we get into this and before things go too far off the rails, I do want to ask you a little bit about your seasons. And I will start with Abby. Abby, I looked this up before the show. You have 11 awards in your AMTA career so far. You've been an all-region attorney. You've won witness awards. You were an all-ORC attorney. You were an All-American. You were a competitor at our most recent trial by combat. And that's impressive in and of itself. But what makes it more impressive, and I think my thunder was just stolen a second ago, is that you're only a sophomore. That was all over the course
What the hell?
of 2 years.
And you're really good looking. Dude, something's got to be wrong with you.
We might have to edit that out.
There are many things wrong.
Abby, what gives? What do you attribute this to?
I mean, definitely I did mock trial all throughout high school. My mom coached my team. So I'm grateful for everybody that's mentored me and like poured into me. And definitely so much of it has to do with my team. I have amazing competitors at Florida State that I love competing with. I did my freshman year and then I did this past year as well. So it's really just everybody that's kind of helped me in my mock trial career.
So Florida State had a really good year. And when I was a sophomore, Florida State was in the national championship and got back to nationals this year and was an honorable mention at NCT and just had a really, really fantastic finish to an excellent season. What do you think? I mean, obviously, I'm sure you've heard anecdotally from your teammates and from some of the people that you work with as to what the program has been like over the last X amount of years. But what do you think the difference was this year that got you guys to nationals and kind of capped off an amazing season with a successful NCT?
I think honestly, and you know, I've only been in the program for the past 2 years, and I'll say it was this way my freshman year, but I definitely feel like it was this way this past year, my sophomore year. Everybody in our program are just such team players, and everybody just wants to do whatever they can to just help the program. And I know sometimes in like mock trial programs and environments, it can be so competitive and just people, you know, vying for spots. But really this past year, especially with our leadership, Fernando Izquierdo is our president. He was this past year and he will continue to be this year, his senior year. I just think he is so selfless and he made amazing roster decisions and everybody in the program was just willing to do whatever they could to help us get back to nationals. And I think that's why we got there this past year.
I'm going to turn next to my Ohio State duo here. You guys, I mean, when I was a competitor, Ohio State was not nearly the powerhouse that it is now. I mean, over the last 5, 6, 7 years, Ohio State has just been so good. And every time I see an Ohio State team, I'm very impressed. What was kind of what's been the secret to the success for you guys over the last X amount of years? What's the deal with you?
So I think a lot of it came down to so we had Alex Bluebon for a little while, and you know, Mock Analysis, my drug, likes to talk a lot about how we had Bluebon, and now Brian Dress was our head coach, and it was like a big turnover that happened the end of my freshman year. And so I feel like he had just come from coaching Duke to a national championship. And I think he helped implement a lot of structural program changes, in terms of how we go about mock trial. And then we just sort of continued building on that as a program. And now with Brian Dressel like at the head of it, he's really helping us like take those fundamentals and build them. So I feel like it really was like your, classic like NBA franchise rebuild of like, get in the new management, rebuild things from the ground up and see where it takes you. And I feel like it really just was like a continual progression year to year of just getting better and better.
Tamara, you're an All-American. Clay, you're a multi-time award winner, and we're a combat competitor this year. The top 16 in the country. I want you guys each to tell me one thing that you like that the other person does. Clay, you go first.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think like the thing I'll never understand about Tamara is just like she has this way of drawing people in. And I don't know how she does it because like I've always just like watched her do directs. I've directed her, and every time I'm like, man, there's like this is crazy. Like there's a really good chance like people might be like turned off by this because it's so over the top. And then everyone is just like gets sucked in by like one thing she'll do. And she'll just like pull everyone in and they're just feeding out of her hands. And I don't know how she does it, but it's incredible.
Oh, that was so nice, Clay.
Tamara.
Well, the instant thing that came to mind, which is far less nice than what Clay said, is how, well, just over Zoom, he'll like, well, I'm in class, he'll sit like this close to the camera, and he'll be like, he doesn't give a laugh, and he'll just sit there and be like, yeah, we're vibing. But no, obviously, I think Clay's amazing, and he's one of the only competitors I've seen that gets truly emotional, and he's not acting, he's just an emo type of guy, which I super respect. I feel bad. I feel like that wasn't as good. Phil,
That was a good answer. I liked it.
And I'll see you in court for this.
Okay. So I have to tell you guys a story. It's not that good of a story. So I said it like it was going to be a really interesting story. It's just not that good. It's the reason I wanted to have the three of you on. And when I started the series, and I was thinking about what I wanted to do and what I wanted to watch and with who, this panel of people and watching this particular round that we're about to watch is one of the first things that came to mind. And so I was here in my apartment during ORCS, and it was when it was round 3 or round 4 when AMTA was live streaming rounds, which is a really cool idea, and I'm glad they did it. And I was trying to do some work, and I turned on the Florida State Ohio State round. It just happened to be on, and it just happened to be the direct of Tamara. And so
you watched it live?
I watched it live. And I had no context for what was happening really, because I knew the case sort of well, but not as well as you guys do. And so I didn't have a ton of context for what was happening on my screen. But I was immediately just like, I need to watch every second of this. I can't miss this. Whatever this is, I can't look away. So the direct was amazing. And I'm not one for like crazy character witnesses, not really my thing, but like this was, to your point, Clay, a minute ago, like no matter what you like, this is something you need to watch, right? So then Abby got up to do her cross. And I have to admit, like in the moment, I was like kind of nervous for Abby. I don't know how you cross-examine this witness. Like I don't. You lose most times. And Abby got up and did a really awesome cross and had what I would say is, in my opinion, the best moment of the season at any level, high school, law school, college. And the moment where and we'll see it in a little bit.
Don't say it. Don't
spoil it.
Don't say it. Why?
Sorry, it's public. Man. Everyone has seen it already.
No, but maybe they haven't.
Right.
They haven't,
okay.
Man.
Okay, fine. Never mind. All right. So we're gonna get into this. This is round 3 or round 4 at ORCS.
Round 4. This was the round that determined if we made NADs, which made it very nerve-wracking.
I was terrified.
All righty. Plaintiff, you may call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The plaintiff calls Devin Johar. May we proceed?
So I hate to interrupt this early, but I can't explain to you how much I had to hide my own surprise in the moment that Tamara turned her camera on,
Did
because
you not know I had changed it?
well, no, what happened was after captain's meeting for this round. So obviously, like, I'm a nervous wreck, right? This is like super intense. I walk into the room Tamara's in, and this witness was not an old lady.
It was
before
not
this
an old
round.
lady.
I walk in, this is after captain's, like 30 minutes before round. Tamara's sitting there getting her makeup done, and she's like, oh, Johar's old now. And so I just like had no idea exactly what to expect going into this moment. So when she turned on her camera and had the whole background on and everything, I was like, oh man, this is legit. We're doing
Wait,
it.
That was
So-
not the plan from the beginning.
No, I rewrote the whole thing 30 minutes before because this is what okay, because it was the round that was determining whether we were going through. And in my mind, I'm like, it's all on me, baby. And I was thinking about my witness, and it was pretty good. It was just it was like a normal dude that talks like this, whatever. And I was thinking about the point that you were going to get me on cross, and I was like, this needs to be an old lady. And I just had a feeling about it. So we made it old lady. My coaches gave me their blessings. They're like, it.
So
Are you
biggest
you're
round of
tiny.
your life, right?
Okay, yeah,
Biggest
sorry.
round of your life. Are we going to nationals, or is the season over? And you, without telling Clay, right? So Clay doesn't know.
It's not about Clay.
It's not about Clay. That's true. You audible to a totally different witness.
But yeah, I go to my coach and I say, hey, this is what I'm vibing with. And he said, you crazy mother. Am I allowed to swear on here?
I haven't really dealt with that yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really. I forgot that I make the rules.
Oh. Yeah, and I just was like, well, my coaches trust me. I was like, I've got a feeling about this, and I talked about like, if we do this and this, and they were like, okay. So I got like the 2 other funny people I know in the room with me, and we just rewrote it.
So all of my questions about like, how long had you been doing this character? Like, did you do this at the other tournaments? Like, how did it go in the other years? Like, so none of that. It's all,
Yeah,
it was
no.
all of that day.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this was the first year I ever did an old lady, because I usually, I like that when I do characters, it's kind of different. I didn't like the idea of doing an old lady, because I'm like, anyone could do an old lady, like it's a cop out. But then there I was doing an old lady.
Right. No, I mean, granted, the only All-American witness in Delaware history where I went is an old man witness that we did in
Are you
2015.
serious? See,
Yeah.
there you go. See,
But
it's
I
like-
generally think it's a cop out too. I agree with you.
yeah, it's like, oh, you're old. Oh, you're in.
It's like right. Anyone can do that. But so we should just watch it.
I didn't mean to throw a bone.
No,
in
I'm
that quick, but-
glad you said that, because I don't think I would have been able to go on with the rest of the episode if I knew that in the middle. I'm glad I know that, like, I'm mentally going into this.
All right, you may proceed.
Good evening. Can you introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
Devin Johar.
What do you do for a living, Miss Johar?
What do I do for a living? I try to keep living. What keeps me living? Music. It is truly the elixir of youth. Naturally, I'm a DJ.
Where do you usually DJ at?
So Clay, this is like all on the fly.
Yeah, a lot of it very much is. Also, all the laughs in this direct are very much just real because I don't know the jokes already. So
Yeah,
I'm,
that was my next
actually
question. Like,
laughing.
I didn't show him the direct after I was done with it.
when I had watched this, I saw you laughing a bunch, and I was like, oh, that's kind of smart. You're like having a playful like whatever with your witness, but like these are real laughs. Like this is not fake.
Yeah, I mean, usually I try to like keep that like funny demeanor with like a character witness, but in this particular direct, I didn't have to because I was genuinely just like, oh, that was really funny. I've never heard that before.
Patriots at the Shady Acres Retirement Facility. Once I received the raving reviews, I went on to unleash my talents upon the townspeople here in Midlands.
Have you ever DJ'd at a winery named Peony Estates here in Midlands?
I have. Their resident DJ, Crazy Legs, is one of my oldest and greatest friends. But once her legs truly went crazy, it seemed it was now her time at Shady Acres and mine at Peony. How the tables do turn, Mr. Owens.
So when
So is Crazy Legs in the affidavit or no?
No.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I just wanted to
I
check.
just thought Crazy Legs was a cool DJ name. I think it might have been my DJ name when I don't remember my other character.
Clay, do you remember what Tamara's other character was for this witness?
No. No, I don't.
Okay.
See,
I
there you
mean,
go. It sucked.
were
No.
you guys like satisfied with the way she was playing? I mean,
Like going in, we felt fine about it. We were like, yeah, this is like a good direct. Like it's funny. It's got jokes.
No, I wasn't satisfied with it. I never usually am with my witnesses, but like I definitely wasn't with that one, which is why my coach just gave me the go ahead to change it because they know when I'm satisfied that like it's kosher.
Yeah. I mean, I think like generally when you're writing a direct with Tamara, it's very much like, so like the good news, like when it came to this direct, we were doing a lot of it obviously like new and on the fly, but like we had really good bones and structure for the direct going in. And it's because like, it's really easy to work with Tamara on like exactly what needs to come out and like what style we're going to do it. But Tamara is one of those witnesses that she's like, unless she's like if it's not perfect, she's always trying to make it better. So like I felt fine about the direct we had before. But lo and behold, come round 4 at ORCS. It was not what we were going with.
Well, I'll usually cycle through so many different versions of characters. Like there was one season where I literally went through like 7 drafts and like no, like my coaches didn't ask me to. I just kept being like, I need to revision it. Like it's not right. So I imagine it's actually kind of unpleasant to work with me because I'm usually not ever sure what I'm doing.
exactly did you DJ for Peony Estates?
The 17th and 30th of May, and then the 7th of June, all in 2019.
Well, I want to start by talking about that May 30th gig then. What kind of event were you DJing?
Awake. I actually knew the fellow.
Did you happen to see the defendant that day?
I did. I saw Harper speaking to a man who not only loves death, but profits off of it. The wake coordinator.
so I have a couple of questions about the witness portrayal that we haven't talked about yet. So the first one is like the costume, the hair, the glasses, the whole thing. Understanding you did this right before the round. You just like had stuff laying around that fit the character,
No,
or like what?
Is this the case, Clay, that was Austin Lewis?
Yeah, we had like the
Yes.
conditional one where
No, was this the case that had Austin Lewis? It was, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, I was an old Austin Lewis and it was fire. It was fire. It was so freaking good. And I wish that had been the one that was here and that Abby crossed me for because it was so awesome because I was just this old, it was so good. So that's the only reason I had it around. And yeah, again, just a cop out.
So someone like did your hair, like you had like the thing around your neck, like the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's like my favorite jacket ever. It's so gross now. I've got a bunch of baby powder on it. Yeah, my teammates helped me just soak my hair and put some gel in it. And then before I go on camera, I didn't go a crap what classroom I was in. I would take the baby powder and and it would go everywhere. But it kept coming out. So yeah, it's pretty gross.
So what about the background? Is that real?
Yeah, no, it's not. But isn't it good? I spent like an hour like trying to find one because my curls make it really hard. But that was the only one that seemed to look kind of legit.
It's one of the few virtual backgrounds that I've seen that doesn't like the person doesn't fade into the back. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can't tell. It's
She was asking questions about planning a funeral.
What exactly did you hear the defendant say?
After the coordinator asked if there was a funeral soon, Harper said, "Not yet, but it's good to know your options." Fair enough.
Is that the only time you saw the defendant on May 30th?
No, I later discovered her in her office, writing something.
Did you get the chance to see what she was writing?
Yes, 'Twas a note.
Would you recognize a photo of that note here in court?
I believe I would.
So like
Your Honor,
that
let the
moment right
record reflect
there,
we're displaying
I make
exhibit
a little bit of a face when I say, would you recognize a photo of that note? Because like I was definitely expecting more information, but I just didn't know the direct. So I'm like, what'd you see writing? And Tamara just says a note. So I'm like, would you recognize a picture of that note?
Wait, was I supposed to say more?
I don't remember. I didn't see
Was
this
writing?
direct very much.
Yes, 'twas a note.
Would you recognize a photo of that note here in court?
You played it
I
off well,
believe I
Clay.
would.
It's that little blink
Your Honor,
I
let
did.
the
Where I was
record
like,
reflect we're displaying exhibit
You recognize
24
the
for
photo.
authentication by the witness outside the purview of the jury.
I love this note because
All
look
right,
at it.
this
Oh, I
is not
hate
being
this
shown
note.
to the jury, just defense counsel, plaintiff's counsel, and the witness. You may proceed.
Ma'am, what are we looking at here?
What we have here, Mr. Owens, is that note I saw Harper writing.
Is it
So
a
was
I
like,
thought that was funny just because I used to do experts and he's like, well, what we have here is, it's like, well, what do we have here, Mr. You know?
oh my God, the voice is so good. So did you do the Mr. Owens thing like every time you guys worked together, no matter what, or was that specific to this witness?
It was
No,
this
I
witness.
just like, wait, what'd you say, Clay?
I thought it was just this witness.
Dude, I always like to say your name. I don't know why. It just feels right. That's why like I tried to say Abby's last name when she was crossing me. If it'd been easier, I would have been saying it a lot. But I do you remember how I asked if I said it?
Yeah, I do. That was like my favorite part.
How do you say your last name?
Branham, but
Random.
yeah,
Yeah, you said Miss Branham.
I get that all the time though. So it's
Did I say
Uh,
Mr. Owens that much?
He says a lot.
Yeah, I like it though.
there an accurate
whatever.
copy of that note?
It is.
Plaintiff offers exhibit 24.
Any objections from the defense?
Without objection, Your Honor, as this is an admission by their party opponent.
With that, exhibit 24 is entered. It can now be shown to the jury.
Yes, Your Honor. So, Ms. Johar, what does this note you saw the defendant write say?
It reads, Genesis, it has come to this. The wedding can't happen. I need you out of our lives. Leave Casey and the enclosed $300,000 is yours. Otherwise, I will take you out of the picture the hard way. Don't make it come to that. You have till the 7th. Choose wisely, HM.
So
I really
Wow,
want
is
to read
this
this
note the
note.
only thing you...
Wait, I really want to read this note. Like, Genesis, it has come to this. The wedding, like as a spooky thing. My cookies wouldn't let me. Just so you know, in general, when I do directs, there's so much juicy stuff that my coaches just forbid me from saying.
Oh my God. You should there are like music artists who have like songs that don't make the album that post it somewhere. Like you should definitely do that.
yes.
Like you and Clay, or whoever's going to be your attorney, who's going to be in your like attorney witness pair next year, just get in a room after the tournament and just like do it, do the direct and like put it on YouTube.
Like, what's wrong with reading it in a spoopy voice? It's written in 4th grade handwriting.
You
Like,
could
come
have
on.
maybe kept Florida State out of nationals if you would have done that voice.
I think so. Honestly,
It could have swung the round. I mean,
this is exactly the one and only time in a round that Tamara actually read the note word for word. Tamara, I don't know if you realized it, but like almost every other time we were in this direct practice round, anytime,
Well, I was
you
never
would
sure.
skip lines.
just
I wasn't
paraphrase
sure
it.
if you guys- yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys wanted me to paraphrase it. I don't know why. I just thought like it was never clear to me if I was, because it's like, well, why am I reading it? But
But, like, needless to say, I was really glad in this particular round that she read it correctly, because I was just like, oh my God, like they're good. Like if she misreads it, they're gonna object and it's gonna be a whole thing.
So Claire, you like during this director, you like really nervous because of what's happening, or are you like keeping it together because you know she's
he's
got it?
always nervous. He's
Yeah,
always
anytime I
nervous.
direct Tamara, I'm nervous.
No, I actually saw the check for $300,000.
So did you get the chance to speak to the defendant after seeing that note in that check?
Yes, that's actually when she started gloating, telling me about her luxurious retirement plans, saying she had offspring. Casey, whom she wanted to take over the winery. Must be nice.
But that
What
was
did
another
the
thing
two
too.
of
My
you talk
coaches
about?
at first were like, no. Like, cause the winery. But I just kept doing it.
Yeah, we also had to tell her she couldn't say weenie instead of wine.
Yes. I tried the weenie. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's oh, gosh. I can't even talk. But I can't talk.
Well, then while we're going through this, while you can't talk, I just want to say, because at some point I was going to say it, to all the people, good Americans and non-Americans listening, I have Tourette's. So if you see me doing weird things, I am doing them. And I'm not a weirdo. I have Tourette's. I feel so good saying that. Because you can see it, and I'm going like things like that. And then like, that's just, it plays up when I'm like stressed and nervous. And it was so weird, like, because it was on Zoom and we were recording. It was like the first time I was like able to watch myself back, and I was like, I'm ticking out.
Do you seem like someone who would not get nervous during rounds? Do you get nervous during the rounds?
I wouldn't say, I don't really I get nervous before it, and then I'm stressed. The most stressed I got and nervous was right before Abby crossed me, because I realized I hadn't planned any cross responses aside from the one thing with the new character. But once I'm in it, if the judge is vibing with it, I know, I mean, it's just stressful. Yes, I guess I'm definitely stressed and a bit on edge. In person, I get very nervous. It's different on Zoom. Well, I mean, I never would have been able to do that in person, considering I'm practically reading the new direct I had just written.
Were you reading? It doesn't look like you're reading.
That's so nice of you. Of course I was reading. I just rewrote the whole thing.
Well, I was going to ask you if you like memorized all those lines in like however long, because it doesn't seem like you're reading.
No.
I mean, I tried to force it in there, but I had just rewritten it. So either way, like, even if I had it memorized, I would have had it up anyway, just for like comfort's sake.
Genesis at all?
I asked what Casey's future spouse thought of that, and she said, Genesis won't go for that, but I've got a plan. As ludicrous as it all sounded, I was approaching my curfew at Shady Acres, so I bid her adieu.
Well, then I want to jump forward and talk about that June 7th gig. What event was it that time?
The wedding rehearsal. It was amazing. Some of my best work. Genesis was, as the children say, throwing it down. We put on a really great show. Everyone seemed to be enjoying it, except Harper.
What do you mean?
I mean, while everyone, myself included, was indulging in our youth, Harper was standing off to the side, glaring at Genesis. I could see her wrinkles deepening in real time.
Well, did you actually see the defendant do anything?
Eventually, she walked towards the building with the bottling area.
What did you do?
I needed Harper to sign a form from Shady Acres so that I could be out past curfew. So I went to find her in that building.
What did you find?
What I found, Mr. Owens, was myself in a maze. I was very confused, and even more confusing.
The lost in the maze line, I don't understand. I've been thinking about it for months.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, this was like, even hearing, like, right now, like, it makes me even a little anxious watching it, because, like, I don't know how Clay felt, but for me, from my understanding, like, that area on the direct, we were nervous we were gonna get objections to, for like kind of establishing why. There was a reason that I said the maze thing, and I remember like me not like having some issues with it. I think it was because I think the whole thing had to do with we were scared of an objection.
Yeah,
Oh no, sorry, go on.
Oh, I thought it was like a lack of foundation objection we had gotten in like before that, like kind of threw our direct off the rails, about you just saying like you like, because originally you had said like, I just went and saw Harper in the bottling area, and it was like a whole thing about like the layout of the winery, and it was really weird.
And so I was just trying to make clear that I wasn't being firm about where I was, that like I was confused. And then also like the way it was worded in the direct, like I mean in the statement, was just wordy, and it was like I saw this and then this and yeah. So it's not very. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I say in my direct, kind of that I don't say my coaches. Like there's stuff that my coaches say, oh yeah, it's funny, but it's not funny. So I don't know why I said that, but
I like that line. I just don't. I think the fact that I'm confused by it kind of almost plays into the character. That was my. I thought you were going to say it doesn't make any sense. It just sounded good for the character, which I would have given you a thumbs up for.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I don't. I might be doing that thing. What's it called? Rationalizing, where I'm like, oh, let me explain to you why this happened. But actually, I don't know.
I mean, our program quotes it still today.
Yeah, it's one of like the lines from the direct that I remember.
Yeah.
You guys should cancel me for that line.
No, we like it. We support the Maze line.
Yes.
Once I was in the bottling area, there was but a single bottle of wine.
Do you remember anything about that bottle?
I do. It said Cara 2019. It was uncorked, and there was wine in it.
Now, is that the only time you saw that bottle?
No. After aimlessly wandering around looking for Harper, I eventually found myself back in that same room, where I saw Harper holding that bottle.
Was there anything different about it now?
Now it was corked.
Do you know if the defendant saw you
I
in
kept
that
saying
room?
there was a while where even like as the other character, like when we practiced that, where I kept accidentally saying, now it was uncorked. Like I kept switching it back.
Yeah, you did it in a scrimmage once, and I was just like, "Oh my god, like, we're not making it to that."
Which is like the whole. I mean, I still don't fully understand this case that well, but I think the uncorked timing is like the only reason to call this witness mostly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you mess that up, it's kind of it. Like there's nothing else to do with this witness. I could see why that would make me nervous. But you pulled it off in the big round, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It worked.
She looked actually quite startled to see me. She said she thought she saw a ghost, and while my foundation may have been a bit heavy-handed that day, there was no reason to be rude.
Or did the defendant actually do anything?
She kicked something under the table and ushered me out of the...
So Abby, so far we've been talking about Clay and Tamara, but we haven't really talked much about you. So I want to what is going through your mind at this point? You've now seen like 8 minutes of this. You're standing there watching this happen. What are you thinking?
I'm terrified. Like at this point, my mentality is, okay, Abby, either you guys are getting out or you're not, and it's a defense round and everybody's watching. It's like live streamed. So if you mess up, and also I was like closing on defense. So I'm like thinking through in my brain, like, oh, we can't mess up the closing either. So I was terrified. I did not object one time. I didn't think there was much that was objectionable at all. But I didn't object one time because I was scared out of my mind. I was like panicking about the whole cross was bias, and Tamara's character just was not biased at all. I didn't feel so. I was scared out of my mind at this point.
Yeah. Clay and Tamara, do you think it was like going well? I mean, this is the first time you're doing it at this point where you're like, okay, this is working. It's hard, I guess, in Zoom. Like I remember when I was an AMTIC competitor, because in law school, there's no, like, you're not allowed to really do characters. It's frowned upon. But like in college, you knew immediately in the room when something was working, right? Like people were laughing. I remember in 2014, there was a witness called named Buttons Conroy. And we played that, it was in the Rocker World case. We played the witness really like kind of pretentious, like very, very over the top caricature pretentious with like the ascot around the neck and like the whole thing. And we were like dying in practice. We were like the jokes were so funny. We were the student who played it for us. It was excellent. Like it was the fun. We couldn't stop laughing. We're like, this is gonna kill. And we got to the courtroom that weekend and we played someone really good. I think I don't remember who it was, and no one left, and it got horrible scores. And we were like,
yeah, that happens to me a lot, dude. You know, and I mean, I can tell really early on if the judge is into me or not, but I still sometimes get scored like crap. So, it's either really good or really bad. But for this one, I wasn't even able to like kind of scope out the feeling of how it was doing, because I was just so happy that I was like, I'm pulling it off. like I haven't flubbed up for you. So my head wasn't, Clay might have been kind of more.
Well, actually, so my biggest thing I always try to do is like read a presiding judge, and sometimes that goes much better for me than other times. But so I got a lot of time when I'm looking like on the screen, I was like looking at the presiding judge because I was trying to see if he was reacting at all. And he seems like he's trying to be stern, but he was giving a few smiles and a few little chuckles. And so I was like, okay, like relax, this is working. We're doing this.
Drank a glass as soon as he got it.
Did you drink any of that wine?
I'll admit, I did try to, but Harper stopped me. Led me to the cocktail station instead.
After the defendant stopped you from drinking that wine, did you ever see that bottle of Cara again?
The last time I saw that bottle was the next morning. Harper was carrying it with his gloves on like it was a dirty diaper. She took it over to the furthest dumpster and tossed it.
I
never saw it again.
I really wanted, every time we did this in practice, I always wanted to say, she took over the dumpster, said, bon voyage, and, threw it. But my coaches didn't let me say it because they were like, that they thought like we get objected to because she didn't say it, and it was like material because
it was like because her child was moving to France, and like with the fiance she's being accused of killing, she doesn't actually say bon voyage. That kind of seems like a material invention.
But like it's just so like bon voyage, you get.
I wish you had said it. I would
have objected.
I don't know. Honestly, probably not.
Can you tell us the 3 things that you really wanted to say, ideally with this witness, but I'll accept any answer, that either Clay or your teammates or your coaches would not let you say?
Oh, there was this, what was the trial again that I rewrote my entire thing right before it? That was this year. When I wanted to say she gave birth, and then there was a
that was also when we changed your plaintiff witness to an old person before the Florida State round at nationals.
That was against that. Wait, that was
you did this twice?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I've never done that until now.
Wait, I thought you used the same exact witness at nationals, like the same portrayal at nationals. I thought.
Yeah.
In the round against Florida State, we did. In our first round against Berkeley, we didn't because we thought it was
different. My program's gonna lose their minds. They're obsessed with it. Like they thought it was
no, it wasn't supposed to be old for that round either. I remember hitting you guys, and I was like, God damn it! Like I gotta do it.
Gotta be old again.
So, what was the birth joke? Do I want to know?
Well, I said in it, I was like, it was a wedding, and I was like, at one point, a woman named Cynthia went into labor. If that's not a showstopper, then I don't know what is. And they let me say that. But then the rest of it,
I think you said that.
I did say that, but the rest of it was like what happened to them, like. I was like, okay, it was something about how her bathwater was just lying there. I mean, no one came and cleaned it up. By the end of the night, small children were using it as a paddling pool. I mean, honestly.
I think Zach would have been unable to cross. Like, I think he would have been done at that point.
I think I said that she boarded a helicopter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Phil, you should have given me these questions beforehand. I'm never coming back on this show. This is ridiculous. I am so angry.
Any cross from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. May I proceed?
You may.
Ms. Johar, you just gave a pretty detailed account of the June 7th weekend, but I want to be clear with the members of the jury. Mr. Owens actually interviewed you about this case in July of 2020, right?
No, my dear.
Is it your testimony you weren't interviewed about this case in July of 2020?
So like first question, you get to know. Are you like panicking?
Yes, again.
Really? Because you don't look like it at all, girl.
No, I was terrified out of my mind. I did not, like I said, I did not object once to the direct because I was so scared. And the whole time, the cross, like what was going through my brain. And this wasn't something that I've like told myself in college, but in high school, I was coached to like get in, get out on really good witnesses. And so this witness, all that was going through my brain was like, get in, get out. Like you
That's
don't
so
need to be
crazy.
talking.
I thought you totally weren't fazed by me at all.
No,
I
I
was
was
like,
terrified.
I'm about to be gobbled up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that it was really smart to be short with this witness because this is someone that if this were real, the jury would like, right?
Yeah.
They would like this person, they would believe this person. And you don't want to risk upsetting the jury, right? And for scoring purposes, setting aside that this is supposed to be a real trial, just like for gamesmanship purposes, like at some point, Tamara's going to say something that's going to blow this cross up. Like at some point, it's going to happen. So my strategy, now that I've had like 8 months to think about this, my strategy to cross this witness would probably be once I feel like I have like a 9, I'm done. I'm sitting down.
Oh,
If
yeah.
that's 5 questions in, 11 questions in,
Yeah.
18 questions in, I'm done immediately. I don't care what's at the end of the cross.
I was contacted by the plaintiff, but Mr. Owens here, not this guy, no.
Well, you were interviewed by attorneys in July of 2020 about this case, weren't you?
Yes, just not that bloke.
Absolutely. And when you were interviewed in July of 2020, you didn't tell the attorneys anything that you just testified to.
Right. At the time, all I knew was that Genesis had died, and honestly, I didn't think I'd seen anything of value.
In fact, that's what you told those attorneys and law enforcement, was that you didn't know anything about this case, right?
Precisely.
Then you spent a couple months watching this case play out in the media, right?
Well, my grandson Marcus told me it's all over the news.
I don't know. Wait, my power just went out. I'm not Daddy Slon. This is Tamara.
Oh man. Can you still see this? Can you still see the?
Yeah, no, I can. But guys, sorry. When there's so the power went out now. Every once in a while, there's like a dit, 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 dit. What is that?
I don't know. Is it coming from the phone or coming from like the place you're
No, in the house.
It might be that the smoke detectors don't have power.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm
that
gonna
checks
die.
out.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Okay, sorry. We can keep going.
Okay. I think there she is. Okay, here we
The
go.
news had to say about Miss Martini.
I suppose.
And after those 7 months of watching this trial play out in the media, that's when you suddenly had this information to testify to, right?
So essentially what happened, Miss Branham, I apologize if I'm saying it.
That was awesome. That was the best part.
I really was rude.
I think that's my favorite line from the whole thing, which is funny because it wasn't one of the ones that you planned. I have to admit, like at the beginning of when we signed on and you asked Abby, but she's gone again. Nope, she's
No,
back.
here. I'm sorry.
It's all good. When you asked Abby how do you say her last name, I didn't know because I just assume it's Branham.
Oh, really?
Like forever now. I think that's just your name. I think that's just your name now, Abby.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Wait,
fine.
how do you say Branham?
Branham is like,
Like the H is silent.
yeah.
Yes.
Once it was on the telly, and I realized it was about Genesis who may have been poisoned with pesticide from wine. That's when I realized, okay, maybe I've seen something of relevance.
Okay, Miss Johar, so you
Dude,
realized
that-
maybe you had seen something.
All right, that moment right there, dude, so much cringe because that was like the one time in trial ever I feel like, or maybe just because I was able to watch this back, so like my accent, I lost it for a second. I don't know if you
I
can,
didn't see it. Which
I didn't hear that.
where I say of relevance, like that.
relevance. Isn't that the character?
No, it goes into a different character voice I have. The way I say relevance, the last section of is, you can hear it's different.
Let's watch it back.
I realized it was about Genesis who may have been poisoned with pesticide from wine. That's when I realized, okay, maybe I've seen something of relevance.
Okay, Miss Johar, so
I thought that was like planned the whole time.
Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I technically, so she has like another character that's like more of a stoner, and it's more of like the way that the word ends. I can kind of hear what you're talking about, but I don't think anyone who hasn't watched it perform 1,000 times would be able to tell the difference.
I'm sure the judges commented on it and scored you down for that.
Really noticeable at the time. I was like,
I realized maybe you had seen something relevant.
Right.
You didn't take that to law enforcement though, did you?
I'm sorry. Can you come again? I didn't catch that.
That information you realized you had, you didn't take that to law enforcement.
I took it straight to the people.
That's right, you didn't take it to the attorneys that had interviewed you before, right?
hey, wait,
Well,
actually,
eventually,
just so you know, I usually I'd never do this, but I actually did hear you. But it was because I hadn't prepped at all this character for this cross, so I was like, sorry, I was just like, what am I gonna say? And like I did like the people thing, like that's totally what I was doing there, because I was like, I have no clue what to say right now. She totally got a point.
Well, from my perspective, like the answers you were giving, I was like, the bias is just not working. Like I don't know if it was just the demeanor and the character. I just thought you were so likable, but I didn't think any of my points were landing. So
Yeah, I watching this, I was like, this is a wash because Abby's doing what she's got to do. She's being pleasant, she's being likable, but she's not backing down. She's not taking it too far with this likable witness. And I thought you were leaning into the question to your answers and not like making things up or denying things and keeping your character. So far, I thought it was kind of like a wash.
Yeah, that's kind of so where I was like watching it, I'm just like sitting there like, dang, like Tamara would have thrown off so many more other attorneys by now. Like they would have totally lost their mojo, but like Abby's still just swinging. Like she's not like unfazed by it. And I was like, dang, because like
That's a good question. Like Clay, you've had a front row seat to this. Like,
yeah.
have you seen attorneys just like lose it when they have to cross tomorrow?
I've seen attorneys just start laughing while crossing tomorrow.
which is fair. I did that, I think, later on.
Just can't
Yeah,
handle it.
Yeah, I've seen them just like kind of like take a second to like laugh, just like stop, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna take another crack at this.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like it could go horribly wrong. Like you have to really like, and that's like kudos to you, Abby, because the way you did it is kind of like the only way you can do it.
No,
Because
definitely her style, the way she handled me, it's like my least favorite way to be handled because it's the most effective way. You know?
yeah, totally. Like it was like you can't be aggressive with this witness, but like you also don't want to back down and like have the witness suck up all the energy in the room
Yeah.
because you're gonna get like a 6 if you do that.
Yeah. And that was like another part of the reason why I was so scared to like do the cross is because I don't typically cross characters. Typically I'm like very aggressive, experts, party reps, like those are kind of more my witnesses. I never do a victim like ever because of that issue. So when I realized like my pref was not being called and I was the one getting, because this was a backup cross for all of us. It easily could have been me, Zach, or Fernando that like did this cross. So when I realized it was me, I was like terrified because it was a character and I'm not traditionally the best at handling characters. So
Were you
Yeah.
get less nervous as it went on? Because like for me, you know, like I said, I'm nervous in the beginning. Once it starts, kind of like,
yeah. Yeah, I think kind of the like point where I got over the hurdle with it of just like being terrified was the point where you had said the no, I wasn't interviewed by Mr. Owens before. Once we got that whole thing cleared up, I think is when I got a little bit more comfortable with it because I could kind of tell how you were going to be on cross.
Yeah.
But
You're like, you're not too tough.
Right. That was Abby. Abby said that
yeah.
in that
I
voice.
did. I'm here, aren't I?
That was
first place
we
you took
can't
that
gloss over that line. That was a good line.
before, right?
Well, eventually I did. I'm here, aren't I?
The first place you took that information was to a talk show, right, Miss Johar?
Right, straight to the people. The news.
Because you wanted to boost your career, isn't that correct?
Well, I wanted to get the word out there that I had information. I felt compelled to tell what I'd seen.
And after you got the word out there, after you told your story on that talk show, your career started to benefit, right?
Oh, yes. So my grandson Marcus says the views and hits for DJ Golden Girl have gone through the roof.
All right, Tamara, give us the backstory on Marcus.
Well, actually, that name I remember. Like sometimes, like I'll be driving my car and I'm still gonna think like, what was his name that I gave that random kid? Because like it was like I have a grandson, but I don't know why Marcus. And also, do you get the Golden Girl reference?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I was like the only one in my program that didn't get it.
That wasn't your joke? Someone else came out with the Golden Girl thing?
Yeah, the Golden, like somebody else like, you should call yourself the Golden Girl. And I was like, what the hell is that? And everyone knew what it was.
Do you get it now?
It's an old lady
Right,
show.
it's an old lady show. Right. It's like a
well,
show about old ladies. That's all I know about it.
That's also why I said it really slowly, because I was trying to remember what it was. It's like DJ, because I know what the hell it was.
DJ Golden Girl.
You gained thousands of new subscribers, right?
That's what I'm told.
Your music has received record-breaking downloads, right?
I'm so sorry to stop you
Yes,
right now,
Marcus.
but it was at this point in the cross when I was like, I need to get out right now. I felt
Right.
like none of this was going to land whatsoever. She was this old woman witness, and I was talking about subscribers and music downloads. I was like, this is so like I feel stupid saying this.
So this is the point in time where like the room shaker that Tamara said I wasn't allowed to say at the beginning is about to happen. So
Yeah.
what do you think? Should
No, it can. I just,
should we say it now or should we wait until it happens and then talk about it?
Phil, you're the host.
Am I?
I can't do everything for
Not for
you.
this one.
Also, the only reason, okay, it looks like I disappeared then, because I keep checking my battery because my phone's might die soon and everything. So, but we're fine.
Okay. So what are we gonna
If I randomly leave and don't come back, just know that you should like and subscribe to Undead Mummy. That's Undead Mummy, MUMMY. I have an Instagram. If you go to undeadmummy.com, I have shirts you can buy, and they're dope and they're handmade. But you should also just subscribe to my
There's
YouTube.
gonna be a
Again,
link in the
Yeah,
in the
seriously, we
description.
should.
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna sue you, Phil, if there's not.
Okay. Got it.
Tells me I'm the next Kanye.
And Miss Johar, now you're telling that same story that you told on that talk show in court today.
Right. I'm telling exactly the same thing. All I know.
Because you know just how many people are going to see this trial.
No.
You know how highly publicized it is in the
Such a funny answer.
Genuine, because like I mean, like
I know.
I wasn't like I was saying no, like I don't know. I didn't know, like I was being, even the thing that's about to happen was very genuine because I hadn't seen that yet.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things about Tamara as a witness is like, so what Abby's doing is something like I know I've seen like a lot of like the people I learned from like Matt Bestman and Eric Whiteman do too, where like you ask that question that they're definitely not supposed to say yes to, but like it sets them up and like you're like, oh, they're like, this is gonna make me look like really cool and everything. But Tamara just doesn't fall for anything, so she's just like she'll just answer like, no, I have no idea.
Because I'm an imbecile. I know things. I'm an idiot. I didn't even realize it was being live streamed. I didn't. Like somebody said it and I took that information and my brain went, that's crap. I just forgot everything. So I was like, you were saying that, I was like, what are you talking about?
No, honestly, it was that answer, the thing that we'll talk about later that happens later. That was why that happened. I was told before the round not to do it, which I can talk about later. But the reason I felt like I had to is because she was giving me absolutely nothing. I was like going to be content to just be like, you saw it in the media, like, and just end on that. But these answers, she was like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I felt like I had to.
The people that are watching this and don't know what happened are probably like, what's about to happen? All the things that Tamara has had happened in other rounds. And this thing is so bad, they won't even say it.
No, we're overhyping it.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Thing. All I know.
Because you know just how many people are going to see this trial.
No.
Well, you know how highly publicized it is in the media, right, Miss Johar?
Well, I know we're on Zoom right now, but I don't quite know how it works if it goes right on the telly.
Well, if you'll take a look in the top left-hand corner of your screen, ma'am, you know that you're being broadcast live right now.
Oh my God.
Just like you were on that talk show, right?
I bet you Marcus is watching right now. Marcus, I love you.
So to me, that was the best moment of the year that anyone had. And the reason I liked it so much, not only is it so smart, not only is it only something that could have been sort of in the moment or like quick, at least come up with quickly. That makes it awesome. It's that if you watch it back, and we're going to watch it again, obviously we've made it this far. You got like Tamara broke character for a second. Like Tamara, did you know that she got you on that question?
Well, when she said that, if you look up, like I looked up because like I was like, what do you do? I was like genuinely like, you're wrong. And then I was like, oh. I was, like in my mind, I was like, oh, you were, yes. I was like, and then I was just like, okay, react, because that's what a granny would do.
But I thought look at your face when she says it. Like,
but I don't quite know how it works if it goes right on the telly.
Well, if you'll take a look in the top left-hand corner of your screen, ma'am, you know that you're being broadcast live right now.
Oh my God.
Just like,
yeah,
like,
I mean, I started feeling so damn, I'm done for.
we're on that talk show, right?
I bet.
Like, yeah, I don't think you smiled the whole direct across. This is the first time.
Marcus is watching right now. Marcus,
Yeah, we'll live on forever.
I love you.
Miss Johar, you see that you're being recorded too.
Yeah, yes, you appear to be right.
You're hoping that your testimony today is going to do for your career what going on that talk show did, right?
I think that'd be great.
Thank you, Miss Johar. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
And Clay does the only thing here that he could possibly do to recover from that. And here it goes. Ready, everyone?
Mr. Owens, any redirect?
No, Your Honor, nothing from this bloke. With your permission, the witness can be excused.
It was awesome.
Wait, if you when he said that, I did not like that. If you look when he says this bloke, look at my face. I'm like,
Why?
I don't know. I just don't like when Clay uses my jokes because I like to be.
Mr. Owens, any redirect?
No, Your Honor, nothing from this bloke. With your permission, the witness.
True.
Wait, it's right as he says this bloke. I'm like,
So I got so much flack for this was a thing that would happen a lot with me and characters, because I sort of like Abby was not normally like a character crosser, but then this year like I started directing and crossing characters out of nowhere. And so like to compensate for not being used to it, I would always just say something really weird and over the top and just like hope that the judge bought it. And like one time in a round, there was an Australian witness and I started my cross with good day, mate, and I got so much flack.
Oh my God.
And so that one I had like some people like, so Matt Bestman texted me after the round and was like, that was horrible. Why did you do that? And so then I looked at the ballots after the round and the judge wrote like, this bloke in quotation marks said, good job using the witness's joke. And I was like, yes. Yeah, like the judge liked it. That's all that matters.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause their whole team gave him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. So what I was going to say at the beginning, before things, as we predicted, kind of went off the rails in a good way, is that after I watched this back and forth, because part of the reason we were watching this was this and paying attention to orcs and stuff was for combat. And I called Justin and said, I don't know if this was all part of the plan, like if this is going to happen anyway, but like Abby and Clay need to be at combat, like have to be. And he was like, yeah, they're coming. I had Kinsey Clark on from Yale, and she does a character witness that's, I think, equally effective as Tamara, but does it way differently. I don't know what you just said, but it sounded like it was going to be something mean directed at me.
No, then I just get jealous.
Okay. Well, I can't play favorites with my guests. I have to like you all equals. Sure. What's the goal for Florida State this year?
I know we'd like to go back to, I know we'd love to be at Nats in person, fingers crossed that that's, safe and something that can happen. That would be like amazing. And we have a ton of like fantastic seniors they'll be seniors this year in the program. So I know them going to Nats in person would be just fantastic.
What's Ohio State's goal this year?
To survive, really. I mean, isn't that always the goal, especially after we just lost Clay and Michael? I'm practically the only star left.
That's not true.
I'm totally kidding. But
We'll edit that out. Well, I'm excited to watch you perform this year. I may be like a honorary like Ohio State like fan. All right, Clay. So Clay, you graduated recently. What's the plan for the year?
So I'm about to take the LSAT soon. So fingers crossed on that. Hopefully this time it goes super well and everything goes great. Currently working, still living near campus, just in an apartment with some of my friends from when we all went to school together. And I'm volunteering to coach OSU, so I'll be around and about in the ANTA world here and there. But yeah, I'm just going to be applying to law school soon, and we'll see where I end up.
Tamara, I meant to ask you. I said Tamara. I said it. I made it so long. I made it so long without saying Tamara.
Sorry, I'm sorry everyone listening because I know I have verbal diarrhea and I'm so sorry. But one time I started dating a dude and 3 weeks into us dating, he said my name wrong.
It wasn't 3 weeks. It was like an hour and a half for me, but that's so.
Phil,
forgive me. I tried so hard the whole time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Tamara, any chance of law school?
Oh, maybe. I mean, so I went to college to do neuro law, which I still love, but I want to pursue art and I want to make videos and I want to be able to have a career making videos. But I guess at some point, if I'm homeless, yeah.
Then maybe law school.
Yeah. I mean, I love it, but I just feel like, what's the point of being alive and living a life if you don't really try and do it? Like, what's the point? Why not try and do what really makes you happy? So I might be screwed, but I feel like I have to try and do what means the most to me.
Tamara, before we sign off, there's one more order of business. You told me you were going to plug something and you started to earlier, but I want to have like full attention on it. Like,
I guess, yeah.
I'm going to put you in speaker view so everyone just sees you.
Yes.
Go.
Okay, I guess if you're still listening, then maybe at this point you really dislike me because I'm starting to dislike myself the more this goes on, but maybe you kind of like me. Either way, you should support me and my art because I'm a human being and you're a human being, and I make videos and I make shirts. I made this shirt. It was a painting I had done, and you go to Undead Mummy, so it's Undead like UNDEAD, and then Mummy like MUMMY, but I'm from England. So actually I meant it as like a mommy, but that's far from the point. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at plugging myself. Abby, I feel like I want you to help me right now, but I don't know if you can.
Just know you're going to have, I think there's 60 people in our program. You're going to have like 60 shirt orders.
Oh my gosh.
The minute this is over, we're obsessed with you. So.
Well, thank you. And also if you do go to my site and you get something, I can customize things and mix and match things, but also you should subscribe, and if you want to be in my videos, you should also reach out to me on Instagram, which is undead_mummy. I feel so weird. I feel like just every other YouTuber, but please do it.
No, do it. Everyone do it.
Do it. Everyone do it.
So
Seriously,
amazing.
do it. Do it right now. Pause the video.
Yeah.
And go do it.
I'm trying to think how pressure. I don't want to pressure anyone, but
no, your pressure. Feel the pressure.
I'll pressure them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phil. Thank you, Phil and Ashley.
You got it. Well, thank you everyone to tuning into this episode of WatchMock. If you have if there are any performances or people you'd like us to have on the show who you think are going to top tomorrow, I doubt it, but we'll see. You let us know in the comments or you get in touch with me somehow and we'll make it happen. Thanks everyone.